Hello, everyone. I am Lauren. I am a registered nurse. I live in Southern New Hampshire and I currently work in the state of Massachusetts. Shortly after getting my undergrad, I got my undergrad at Regis College. I worked in pediatrics. Shortly after starting in pediatrics, I took a per diem job with a new starting home care company that serviced the mental health population within our communities. And I fell in love with that job, and I've been doing that ever since. Fast forward to today, about I think 8 going on 9 years ago, I started a home care company, which I co-own with three other individuals. Um, 99% of our population is dually diagnosed, primarily seeing them for their mental health. We are a Medicare, Medicaid-based company. However, our primary billing source is Medicaid. And that is because Medicare does not see mental health as a billable skilled nursing visit. So Medicare traditionally, for example, I'll cut it short, they will cover homebound clients, and usually it'll be more short-term, like your wound care patients. And as you know, mental health is more of a long-term disease process. We have taken on many pro bono clients over the years due to Medicare not covering, and we can't leave anyone without services. If we're not going to take them, other agencies will not take them as well. So we usually take them on pro bono so they get the services that they need. As you know, this is a extremely vulnerable population and services are extremely limited. Some current struggles that we're facing right now is Medicaid has made significant cuts to reimbursement rates, and also we have a nurse that goes to court for us and advocates for this population because they are decreasing what they're going to cover for patients, which overall brings higher decompensation rates for patients, increase visits, and increased hospitalization rates. I have been also working in the mental health and drug courts. And I'm proud to say that we are the first nursing agency and the only nursing agency working with some of these newer mental health and drug courts in the state of Massachusetts. I can actually say that I love what I do, and I'm extremely grateful for that. The program that I'm currently enrolled in at Regis College is the PMHNP program. As I mentioned prior, my passion is working with the mental health population, and the biggest push I had to go back to school was having my own personal experience with my own health about 5 or 6 years ago. And speaking of pathophysiology, I will attempt to give a short version of my experience. And I believe that everything happens in divine order, and here I am. About 6 years ago, I started having cardiac symptoms, hand tremors, impaired speech. I'm not quite sure what a seizure would feel like. However, if I could put it into words, that's what I felt like was going to happen at many points of my day. Very hard to put into words. This is just to name a few of my symptoms. Basically, my nervous system was on fire and I didn't know what was going on. My symptoms came on fast, and it all started one day leaving the gym. I was bringing myself to the ER frequently and getting dismissed on every occasion. From most doctors telling me that anxiety manifests in different ways. And I found myself, telling them I'm a mental health nurse, spewing my credentials, who I've worked with, just so someone would listen to me. I knew my body was shutting down, and I knew preliminary tests or blood work that they take in the ER wasn't catching what was going on. And I felt as though no one was listening. So it was a very, very difficult time. So I'll try to make this as short as possible. So I had a friend state to me that they remembered I had a water leak in my home that summer. And being a newer business owner, I was very busy and I left that unattended. They had stated that they watched a documentary on Hurricane Katrina and had seen how people were getting deathly ill from black mold exposure, which is a very toxic mold to the body. So I had my home immediately tested, and sure enough, the black mold was toxic in my home, and we had to leave our home as we had a fire. So from there, you would think I had some ease of knowing what was going on with my body. However, the challenges were still ahead. Unfortunately, environmental illness isn't widely known. A lot of physicians, even my PCP of many years, told me I, quote unquote, couldn't get sick from mold. So I had to continue advocating for myself and finding the treatment that I needed. When speaking from experience, I know one of the questions was experience with pathophysiology or some strengths or weaknesses. The only I can really speak from personal experience how this manifested in my body. I was getting misdiagnosed with autoimmune disorders. I had brain inflammation, so I was getting misdiagnosed with MS and such. So how this mold manifested in my body ranged from a blood clot to cardiac symptoms. Like I said, there was just so many left-sided weakness. The voluntary initiation of swallowing that takes place in this special area of our cerebral cortex that started to shut down in my body as well. And I have met many people on this journey who have also been misdiagnosed with anything from mental health symptoms, getting diagnosed with anxiety or depression or some mystery illness, autoimmune disorders, when in fact they had actually been exposed to an environmental illness. So this journey has made my assessments quite different, and how I listen to clients is quite different as well. Not everything is black and white, and that this disease process manifests quite differently in a lot of people. Brain on Fire is actually a great movie to watch. For example, of how disease process can sometimes be misdiagnosed and overlooked. So with that said, my journey has led me here. I have many career goals and interests. So not only treating individuals with mental health, but also having a strong interest in environmental illness as well, and how I can help others and people within our communities and education. It's unfortunately that environmental illness is not recognized by insurance companies, so this can be extremely, extremely expensive to treat for individuals. I'm not quite sure what my next business venture will entail, but I have many desires and ideas on how I want to help people moving forward. And I have quite a few strong ideas. I do definitely have still a strong hold to the company that I run now. However, I believe my purpose is taking a little bit of a different direction. So I want to see where this leads me. An interesting detail about myself is, like I mentioned before, my body being exposed to a toxic mold. I healed my own body with meditation and mind body connection. I was getting very tired with many things entering my body. And I decided to take a different approach, and I was able to heal my body that way, which brings me to a strong interest in spontaneous healing and the science behind that. I also currently have been doing the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I belong to a research group for Dr. Joe Dispenza on coherence healings, and it's based on energy-based healing. So the research has been going on for about a year now. I think we're a year this month, actually. So that's been a nice journey as well. I look forward to this class with all of you and working with all of you. Thank you.